So for class today, you will need a yoga strap. I'm using a yoga towel. You could use any type of towel, you could use a scarf, but we are getting at our hamstrings, and sometimes we'll need to hold our feet in order to do that. And some of us can now hold our feet. So, a strap is a wonderful way to stretch our hamstrings and activate them without bringing in other parts of our body that maybe are not ready to be brought in. I'll place that off to the side for now. And just begin in a seated position. You can lie down if you like to. And just anywhere where you're able to just take a pause. Day 25 of our Corona Yoga series here. Or whenever you're taking this, we still find ourselves coming to our mat. And committing to a practice, a series of poses, a way of breathing that helps make us fresh, open up space. One of my favorite parts about teaching every day has just been that I change my clothes. And I put on a pair of earrings for nobody but myself. So in making this intention to change something, to freshen up, we create space for something else to come in. And for me, that something is love. My Thai massage certification, they would always say, make fresh before you go and you massage anybody. It was the idea of showering, changing your clothes, coming in new. It can feel hard or silly to do when we're stuck at home. But really, it's a beautiful practice. It's like sweeping the temple of our own space, our own bodies. And so thank you for the opportunity to do so. And I hope you've been able to find this yoga practice, bring something like that to you as well. And time for you to sweep things clean, and to rest in the moment, not in the months to come. To hear and feel your breath now. And this great big pause we're all in. And today we'll focus on sweeping the temple of our hamstrings. And both activating, lengthening, and flossing nerves in the back of our legs. Making your way down onto your back. Bring your strap or tool with you. And bend your right knee, place the strap on the bottom of the foot, lengthening your leg to the sky. First, just bending that knee and then straightening it up. Point the toe at the top and flex the toe as you bend the knee. Back and forth. And sometimes just flossing our nerve like this, our sciatic nerve through the back of our leg, can be all we need in order to get more range or a stretch in our leg. It could simply be that our nerve was caught up. So bending, flexing, straightening, pointing. And seeing if you could just stay present or mindful of exactly what's going on in your body. So bringing your strap into your left hand now. Lower your leg down towards the right. And coming into hamstring number 2 here and into your adductors. Again, you may flex and point the foot here if you like. Also option to bend and straighten the leg here if you like as well. The bending and strengthening makes it more of an active stretch and brings in a little more of that nerve flossing. And the holding just brings in some nice static tissue changes. Bringing your leg back up towards the center. This time, cross it over towards the left side of your body. Not letting your right hip come off the ground. Keep the back of your right hip, your right bum planted into the ground. Leg reaches long and away from the body. This gets more into that IT band and your more outer hamstring muscles here. It's most uncomfortable for me. Maybe you take a few bends and straightens of your leg, or you just point and flex the toe. Using our breath to let our body, our mind, know that things are safe here. Drawing deeper breath into the sides of our waist, into our low back, the back of our legs. And simply breathing more deeply into our body. We can give our body the information that things are okay. And we're not in this fight or flight state. Switching sides, right leg comes up to the sky. Left leg switches out. First, just straightening leg up towards the sky. And maybe bending, flexing the foot, straightening, pointing the foot. And so when we take these movements that physiologically move around our bodies, our nerves, our muscles, our tissues, and we combine it with the mindfulness, the presence, the breath, our nervous system can receive the message that we're safe. In doing so, it won't hold as much tension in the back of our legs. So stretching can actually occur here. It's the beauty of yoga. Strap in the right hand, lower the left leg down towards the left. Again, neither hip comes up off the ground here. Keep both hips parked down as the leg goes out to the side. You might want to switch straps with your hands, depending on the length of your strap here. Might you be fascinated by the sensations arising in your body? By the beautiful fact that you have a body and that it stretches. And that in a moment of not moving, you could feel 1,000 different things inside of you. And bringing the leg back up towards the center, cross it over towards the right side of the body. Left hip this time stays planted on the ground. Moving the leg, moving the foot, or not. Up to you. You might want to play with taking that left hand, putting it on the left hip, and pressing it down and away from the body. So down towards the feet, rather. See if that changes the stretch towards somewhere interesting, somewhere meaningful, somewhere that more fully sweeps you. Lovely. Leg comes back up towards the center. Removing your strap here. And coming over onto your belly. Making your way onto all fours. Reach that right leg behind you, tucking the toes down. And take a little easy rock back and forth here. Pressing back through that heel and forward to the crown of your head. And switching sides, left leg presses back, left toes tuck under. Easy rock back and forth with that leg. Noticing if you're just paying attention to the sensations that you expect, that you're used to being there, instead of noticing what maybe could be there. Maybe by moving a little slower or pressing a little further, can you feel something different? Something that perhaps opens up the back of your legs for the first time in your life. Lovely. And then bringing the left knee back to the right, tuck your toes under and sit your legs or your hips rather back towards your heels here. So your calves are continuous with connective tissue all the way onto the bottom of your feet here. So just opening up the arches helps to open up the back of the legs. If this feels like too much, you could come back only halfway. If it doesn't feel like enough, you could come and sit on your feet. Taking 5 more breaths in here. Using the breath over and over again to arrive. To watch your body like you'd watch a movie. Engaged, interested, enthralled. And coming back forward towards your hands. And tuck your toes under. Coming back down dog. Take a big, huge bend in the knees here. Feel like you want to kick your heels up to the sky. So you're activating the entire back of your leg here. Slowly rise up onto your toes, even more activating the back of your leg. And then lower the toes down. Lift up the heels. Lower the heels down. One more time, lifting and lowering. Yes, from here, straighten just the left leg, bending the right. Holding it a little bit longer than maybe you're used to. If this is absolutely intolerable for you, you can come towards a push-up position as you do it. We're less worried about the back today and more just trying to focus on the back of the legs. And then straighten that right leg back behind you. Switching sides once again, left leg straighten. And then the right leg. Stepping forward with the left leg, coming into a low lunge. If your hands don't touch the ground, you can either balance them on your front leg or find 2 blocks or books for yourself to place your hands on so that you can have some support here. And taking a nice active stretch in our front hamstring. On an exhale, straighten the front leg, feeling like you're trying to kick your heel towards the back of the mat. And inhale, bend it. This can be one of the strongest, slowest movements you've done all day if you really engage your legs here. It's been shown that active or resisted stretching is one of the ways, or the best ways, to actually lead to muscle length changes. So really keep an active resistance as you come and bring that leg towards straight, releasing as you bend it. A few more times. Lovely. Place your right foot on the ground and turn your foot so it's parallel with the back of your mat. Hands come towards the right side of your mat. So same thing here, but this time we're getting more into our inner thighs. And you could keep the right leg straight as you bend and straighten the left leg, getting that inner line of the leg like we did on the ground. Or you could bend the right leg and just kind of take a little lunge back and forth between the legs. Again, if the hands don't reach the ground, a nice prop would be blocks or a book. You could even just bring your hands up onto your thighs here as you move from a bent towards some kind of straight position. Straight is not necessary. The engagement of the leg the whole time you're trying to straighten it is. Yeah. Lovely. Step your right foot forward to the front of your mat, coming into a forward fold. Bend the knees here. And shake the head out now. Nodding the head, yes. Once again, shake the head no. See if you could feel the difference between both legs. Nod the head, yes. Isometrically kick your heels up towards the sky, beginning to straighten the legs a bit. If this means your hands come onto the upper thighs, that is fine. Hands don't have to be on the ground. Keeping that nice activation in the back of your leg, take the right leg, cross it behind the left leg. Hands can come over towards the right hand side. This feels like way too much. Just bring your hands on your hips, lifting up the torso, just taking this a little bit more raised up. Lovely. Then releasing that leg back to a forward fold. Slowly rise up to stand. Breathing in, circle the arms to the sky. Exhaling the hands to the heart. Twice more like that. Breathing in, arms reach up. Breathing out, hands to your heart. One more time, pressing those feet, rooting them into the ground. And exhaling, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, roll down one vertebrae at a time, bending your knees as you need to reach the ground. Again, find that little kick of your heels up towards the sky and allow that engagement in the leg to be what starts straightening your legs. And again, if the hands need to come to the thighs or the waist, totally fine here. So strong. Step the left leg behind the right. Walk the hands a little over towards the left. Getting that outer line of the left leg here. Staying as upright as you need to or folding as much as you like to. Putting hands on blocks or a chair if needed. Uncrossing the legs, step the left leg back behind you for a low lunge. Take a little sway back and forth between the legs, just pressing that left heel behind you. And then find that nice active stretch on this side again. So on our exhales, we straighten that right leg. And on our inhales, we bend it. And it's not just this little passive like, oh, I'm just straightening and bending my leg. What's the point? This is an active, involved process where you're engaging the back of your right leg so much, it literally feels like you can just kick that leg back. That's how much that right heel, that right hip is wanting to pull that leg back as you come to straight. A few more times here, moving as slow or as quickly as interests you. And then hands come towards the left side of the mat. Turn back foot parallel towards the back of the mat and begin to bend that right knee and move it towards straight again. This time getting into the inner line of that leg. And if you need to be risen up here and you prefer to just take this with the torso parallel towards the ground, totally an option. You could even take this risen up if these forward folds are really not working out for you. And then find top of a push-up plank position at the top of your mat. Press the heels super far back behind you, feeling the back of the legs fire up here. And then lower your knees onto the ground. Right leg lifts up parallel towards the ground. Notice if when you lift up that leg, you just use your low back to do it, and you didn't activate the back of your leg. So bring the leg back down. Really feel like the heel wants to kick the sky, bum wants to kick the sky, and then lift from the back of the leg. You could even engage this leg so much, this hamstring so much, that it feels like it's shaking here. And bend the right knee. Try to keep your thigh parallel towards the ground. Option to take tiny little pulses, just reaching that right foot up towards the sky. And taking this nice isometric engagement in your hamstring. Isometric means engaging something without moving. Good. And lower that left knee down. Straighten the left leg back behind you. And using the muscles in the back of the leg, not the low back, lift that leg up. Again, this can look like an easy class and like you're doing nothing, or this can be the most you've ever engaged your hamstring. So bend that left knee, but imagine someone's pushing on your calf, trying to straighten the leg as you're bending the knee. That's how strong you're working here. Yeah. An option to take a few little pulses of that foot up to the sky, just because it's always nice to bring in our glute. And bring that knee back down. Tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. And taking whatever movements you like here. Maybe bringing the shoulders forward so you're not quite in down dog. Maybe walking the feet out. And then walk those feet up towards the front of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold, walking as slowly as you can. Inhale, lift up halfway, feel like the heels want to kick the sky. And exhale, lower it down. Find your strap as you rise up to standing. And place that strap underneath your left foot. I'll turn sideways here. Standing on the right leg, notice if you like to bring that right hip out to the side, hug the right hip in towards the middle. So if you were to look in a mirror, both sides of your waist would be the same height here. And kick that left leg out in front of you. Maybe it's straight, maybe it's not. Doesn't quite matter. Just press it into that strap. And take a bend. And press that leg towards straight. And to make sure we're not bringing our low back into this, notice if you've started to tuck your hips under you. Actually send your bum back a little bit. Yeah, so we're really just getting our hamstring as we bend and straighten that leg. And bringing the strap into the left hand, reach the leg off to the left side. Right hand comes out to the side. If you're like, no way, my leg does not go up that high, it doesn't matter. Bring it back a little lower. And if bending and straightening that leg is really helping lubricate your thigh, you could do so. And of course, if you don't need a strap and you could just use your yogic toe hold, always welcome. Let's bring that left foot down, shaking it out, and place the strap underneath your right foot. Finding that strong base of support. Sending that left leg down into the ground like roots of a tree, right knee rises up. Choking up a bit on your nice little strap here, we straighten the right leg. Again, it doesn't matter if it's straight. Just wherever you go, try to kick your leg into that strap. And take a few pulses of the leg bending and moving towards straight here. trying to keep the back of the leg active. And strap comes into the right hand. Open the leg out towards the right. Left arm can reach left. Finding an equal reach with the arm and the leg here. Yeah. And bringing that leg back in towards the middle. Releasing it down. Strap comes off to the side. Take a nice wide-legged stance on your mat. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward over those legs. Knees can be bent, hands can come to the thighs. And try to move the legs towards straight here. Walk your hands over towards the left-hand side and take a bend in that right leg. Noticing where your breath flows in your body. Can you bring your breath to an area of tension to help it feel safe? Straightening the right leg, hands go over towards the right, bend the left one. And I show a flexible version of these poses somewhat. You can always be upright here. You could always reach your arms out in front of you, working on a little more strength in the upper body here. So many ways to do yoga poses that everybody can do everything. You just need to find the way of the pose that works for your body. Lovely. Straightening that left leg, roll back up to standing. And turn your left toes towards the left. Using our nice flexible inner thighs here to come in towards triangle pose. Reach the left arm to the left till you can no longer reach any further than bring that hand onto the left leg. And this might look like you're just right here feeling the stretch in the inner thigh. Or it might look like your hand reaching down towards a block or all the way towards the ground. But be honest about where you go. Don't go to the ground just because you think that's where you're supposed to go. You're not. You're supposed to go to where it feels like your body's becoming most integrated. Where it feels like you could press down through that back foot and still feel what feels like a safe and healthy stretch in that left leg. Gently drag your inner thighs together here like you're trying to shorten your mat. And usually our necks get a little tight here, so I always like to take a little bit of head movement. And on a breath in, rise back on up. Use the strength of your inner thighs to bring you up. Left leg turns in, right toes turn out. Reach that right arm over the right leg. Eventually, you won't be able to reach any further at that point. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches up. And you're in Trikonasana, triangle pose. Again, hand can be at any point on that leg. This can look like this. This can look like this. And if it feels like you need to walk your legs a little further apart or closer together, go for it. I was just talking to my friend on the phone that there's no such thing as a right pose. What feels good for me one day doesn't the next. Depends on what we've been doing. So find what your body needs in this moment. Maybe it's a head movement. Maybe it's a dragging of the inner thighs together. Maybe it's a reaching the crown of the head even further away from the body. Coming back on up. Turn all 10 toes to the front. And then come into a push-up position at the top of your mat. Lowering your knees onto the ground here. Coming back into that broken toe pose, sitting our bum back towards our heels. If you want to bring the forehead towards the ground for a modified child's pose here, option to do so. Or you can just stay super lifted. And coming back towards all fours, step the left leg in front of you and straighten that left leg here. That can be fully straight or just moving towards straight. Hips are ideally over that back knee. An option to just take this pose with a straight leg, trying to kick your heel back, or to take a few bends and straightens in that leg. It's funny to say bend and straighten after being in PT school because really it's just flex and extend, but I think it's kind of nice. Turning your back shin parallel towards the back of the mat. Bring your hands over towards the right. And once again, getting into that inner thigh here. Option to bring your weight up over that leg and to side bend over towards the left side. Again, just having the hands on the ground is totally welcome here. You can point and flex that foot to floss that sciatic nerve through the back of the leg in a new position here. Lovely. And coming back onto all fours. Right leg comes out in front of you, straightening that right leg for a runner's lunge here. Notice the difference between your sides. This side's always more difficult for me. Notice on one side you might need to be a little more lifted. And maybe taking a few movements, bending, straightening that leg is what your body needs. Or maybe just folding and breathing is what your body needs. We explore our body to become better friends with it, and to make room for new experiences, new ways of viewing our body. Back shin turns parallel towards the back of the mat. Arms come towards the left, getting into that inner thigh once again here. Option to take it more active, bending and straightening that leg. Make your way back to all fours, only to come and turn around sitting down on your bum. Feet can be towards the back of the mat, knees bent. Hands point towards your feet here and press up through the hips, coming into a tabletop here. So activating the back of the legs. If you really are feeling up for it, you could straighten those legs and then press up towards the reverse tabletop here. Just finding the power in the back of the body. Feel like the knees want to bend by kicking the heels in ever so slightly. And then lower back on down. And coming into a few seated forward folds. If your hamstrings are particularly tight, even though they might be looser by now, you might want to sit on a blanket or a pillow or a yoga cushion if you have one, meditation cushion. Goal of that just being that sometimes when we sit to fold forwards, our bum is so tucked under us, and in males, your pelvis is just a little bit more like this, but that when we go to fold, all I feel is right in my shoulders. I don't feel anything in my legs. But if I were to scoop my hips more back behind me and begin to rotate my pelvis forward and down, I could have a completely long spine. I don't feel anything there, but I feel it totally in the back of my legs. So by sitting up on some type of pillow and scooting all the way to the front of it, we can begin to tilt our pelvis in that direction. So when we fold, we feel it in the back of our legs. So note if you need a cushion for yourself here. I will not use one. And first, just take an active stretch here. So feel like your knees want to kick up towards the sky. And then exhale, move the legs towards straight and fold. Inhale, kick the heels into the ground, lift up. Exhale, move the legs towards straight, relax, and fold. Once again, kick the heels down, try to bend the knees looking up. And exhale, release. Taking that a few more times, just practicing what we call autogenic inhibition, or a tightening and then a releasing of the muscle, which can help you to go deeper into a stretch. You're welcome to keep doing that, or to simply breathe in this forward fold for yourself here. Rolling back on up. Make your way down onto your back, hugging your knees in towards your chest. The last pose we'll do here is an active stretch, a resistant stretch for our inner thighs. So straighten the legs up towards the sky and place your hands in between your legs. Press legs into hands, hands into legs, but your hands win and your legs slowly begin to open out towards the sides and then bring them back up to the top. So the whole time you're doing this, your legs are pressing into your hands. So it's an active, resisted stretch, then bring the legs back up. My legs press into my hands. They don't want to go down, but my hands are making them, and then the legs come back up. If you need your knees bent here, that's all right. You can do it with the knees bent as well. If you have a friend, they could do this for you. And if it feels better to use the back of the hands against the inner thighs, that works for me because it helps my shoulders feel a little better. Lovely. Place the right foot on the ground. One more, I decided. And grab onto your left heel. If your left heel isn't available for you, place the strap around your heel. And you'll just press this strap into the heel as you move the leg towards straight and bend. So just taking, again, that resisted movement as you begin to straighten the leg. And I'm doing this out into the plane of my hip. So it's about 45, 25 degrees from the middle line of my body for myself. You could do this straight up towards the sky, all the way out towards the side. Find a vector of movement for your leg here that feels like it's what your leg's been needing or missing. And the key here is just to keep pressing your heel down into your hand, resisting the stretch even as you move your leg towards straight. Yeah, let's switch sides. Grabbing onto the right heel. We're bringing that strap there. Kicking heel down as you move the leg towards straight. I like to switch vectors, doing some in the middle, some out towards the side. Could do it with my foot pointed if it feels like too much with my foot flexed. Always keeping that healthy tension between my hand and my heel as I move. Release the leg. Bring the soles of the feet together. Open the knees out towards the side. And place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. And coming back to that feeling of safety. Of finding that healthy tension or resistance or strength within your body that allows stretching to feel safe, to feel okay. And indeed, that's what our yoga practice does for us in these times. It's a strength we cultivate within ourselves so that we're able to go to new lengths, new ways of living, being, without it feeling so scary. And coming into our mat to sweep out the temple of our body, we make more room for what is up to you. No, we all could always use a little more room for love. You're welcome to stay here or straighten your legs out. Shavasana. Relaxing here for as long as you like. Letting your body, your parasympathetic nervous system kick in so that you can absorb these changes in muscle length from a safe place, a place that endures. It's been an honor to be with you on this day 25. Namaste.